Alright guys, so today is the day. I'm going to try to notch the hood here. Got my grinder here. Now I tried to find a diagram of the hood online, but I could not find a measurement diagram. All I have is a picture of an SS with the hood open. And it appears the mechanism is like right in here. The latch, it's hard to judge from the picture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a little bit forward of it. I'm going to notch this out. I really don't want to do it, but there's no other way I can see to get the hood open, and I have to get this thing open. So let's do it. Now I cut way too much of my hood. I'm going to replace the hood anyway, so I'm not really worried about it, but this did not need to move. That didn't need to be cut at all. I just needed to cut this front out. And what I had to do, let me get my flashlight here. What a pain. So you can see where the wire broke right there. I don't know if you guys can see that. That's the cable. There's the wire end that attaches to that little clip. Just had to come forward. I was trying to get it from this angle, but I couldn't because the hood was closed. The hood is open after a year. So yeah, so there is the cable right there. Cable runs in this way. You can see it just literally just busted off. It's very rare that that happens. So what I'll do in the meantime is replace this cable right here. I'll order a new cable. I don't know how much of a pain in the ass it is to run. Or I may just leave it like this, tape it up, and just have it so I can get a screwdriver in here to move that forward. That's all it is right there. I could even run something else myself to release it. Boy. These are all the pieces I've cut off of the car. That's a lot. Covered in fiberglass. Now I can check the oil. I've got the head gasket sealant I'm going to try. So I don't know if we can see. Let me see if I can show you all that mess right there. I don't know if you can see all of that sealant. I'm trying to hold the flashlight at the same time here. So these are my headers right here, and this is the cylinder head right there, attaches to the block. That's where the gasket leak is, and you can see I've just done like little teeny repairs on it, but they're all flaked off. So but that's last. That'll be the last thing I worry about. What we can do now is try that sealant, see if it works. So this is K-Seal Ultimate Head Gasket Repair. I've never tried this before, but I'm willing to try this first before spending God knows how many thousands of dollars. So all we do, we basically pour this into the radiator cap, pour it in there, the whole bottle, start the car up, let it run to normal operating temperature, and shut it down. And what it's supposed to do is seal. It'll form a crystallized gasket at the seal. It says money back guarantee. Now, I don't know. We're going to give it a shot. Okay, so I didn't think about this. What I'm going to have to do, I need to jack the car up. I got to get under it. The radiator drain plug, I've got to unscrew it, I'm gonna have to take some coolant out of it and then put this back in, because the coolant is at a full level right now, and as the engine gets hotter, the coolant will do nothing but expand, so I got to take some out. So there's draining, a little drain plug there. Just trying to get that down a little bit. That's probably enough. There's the coolant. It looks actually pretty damn rough. That's not good. Right, let's add this. Oh, this is actually what was in, I think maybe what I was seeing in that coolant. I don't know. It's really thick. That is a full bottle. I'm also going to get my coolant and add that coolant back, actually. Let's just do this. Put this back in. That was a mistake. Alright, seal it. I am making a damn mess. I gotta clean this whole engine. It's got fiberglass all over it. Air intake, not good. Alright, now we start it up and run it to operating temperature. So that'll be the gauge we're looking at right there. Operating temperature on this car normally is that first line. I don't know what that is, 180, I think 180, something like that, 185. That's what we're looking to get to. So you can hear that pop? That popping sound is exhaust leak. I can actually feel the pressure coming right there, so I'll fix that next. I cannot believe how much I cut out of this freaking hood, man. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to drive it around the block a few times to help get the engine warm, and then we'll come back and see what's going on. A little bit here. So here, this is where I put I hooked my radiator fan and just ran the wiring inside so I can manually cut the fans on. So they're temperature controlled. So they will cut on, and they're actually two speeds. They'll cut on when the engine temperature reaches a certain temperature, when it gets, starts getting too warm. Since I've had this problem, I just cut them on pretty much immediately, so I'm pulling at least some kind of cool there where that temperature gauge is where this thing had I'd never seen it get higher than that as long as I've had this car. Now I'll use 2 bottles of this. If it says you might need another one, right? Of course it's going to say that they want you to buy another one, but we'll be able to tell really quick because right now it's about 95 degrees out here. It is damn hot. This light here, what you're seeing right there, that's a low coolant sensor. That came on a couple years ago. It's a faulty sensor. I've just never replaced it. It's actually common in the 4th gen Camaros, from what I've seen on forums, this light to come on. Yeah, just a faulty coolant sensor. Like I said, this was a pinhole leak. It was a pinhole leak. And the way that I discovered that was that big red funnel you saw me use. I put that firmly into the radiator where the radiator cap goes, and I ran the engine. I let it get up to operating temperature, and what you'll see is little teeny tiny air bubbles coming up through the coolant. That's exhaust gas. That's how I knew I had the leak. But I suspected it obviously before that because the car was overheating after I'd literally checked everything I could think of. The water pump was the ultimate cause of this head gasket leak. The water pump failed, the car overheated, and what I'm really hoping has happened is it deteriorated the gasket, burned the gasket up, whatever happens in there, I don't know, and I'm hoping this seals it. Now if this doesn't seal it, I'll try again, it doesn't seal it, then I don't know what I'm going to do, because to replace a head gasket, you basically disassemble that side of the engine, whatever side it might be on. You got to pull the cylinder head off the block. It's fucking nuts. And there's also a chance, in worst case scenarios, you can actually warp the cylinder head. It gets so fucking hot, it actually warps the metal and it's not making a proper seal. And then you have to resurface either the block head and the cylinder head, but I think just usually the cylinder head. You can also crack the cylinder head or the engine block. That is also a thing. So I'm looking at the temperature gauge over here, and it's actually, it is staying in place, which, that is a really, really good sign. When the car is sitting still like this, even though I have my radiator fan on, this thing usually gets hot really, really damn quick. And it appears to be sticking. Now it's getting a little bit warmer now, but also keep in mind this car really cools when you're driving it because it sucks air from the bottom and forces it and works in conjunction with those radiator fans. But I gotta say, what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to take this around the block a few times and see what happens. So the temperature did come up. Temperature did come up. What I'm going to do is let it sit. I'm going to let the engine completely cool off. Doesn't say anything about that in the on the directions, but I would assume that's when it would really seal. I don't know. But that is warmer than it is supposed to run right now. Now, maybe it's partially sealed it because it usually, that temperature, once it gets above that first line right here, it just keeps going up. It just keeps going up. And so it's, I wouldn't say it's holding steady, but it seems to be a little bit better. We also have a thunderstorm rolling in, which is good. So I'm going to, I don't know, I'll check it out later today or tomorrow. I'll monitor it. I will buy another round of that stuff maybe, and see what happens. Like I said, I'm willing to try anything first before having to pay for a head gasket replacement, something I cannot do myself. I just do not have the tools. You need a garage, you need a shop, with heavy duty tools. And honestly, if that's the case, I may just sell the Camaro, because honestly I can't afford it. I would have to save up for a year, because I mean, I don't know how much they run, but I'm assuming a minimum a couple of $1,000s, right? Just a minimum, I would assume, and I just don't have that. So that's it, round 2. Now I got to do something with the hood. What I'm going to do, I know it's ghetto as hell, I'm going to get some Gorilla Tape. Thank you, Matthew, for the suggestion. Some heavy duty Gorilla Tape. The car is gray, it's silver anyway, and the tape is gray. I'll just tape it. The hood has to be replaced anyway. There's no way I'm piecing that back together. So if this shit works, then I'll save up and get the new hood. I'll get a fiberglass hood or some, not a knockoff hood, but they're expensive, $600 to $800 minimum from what I've seen. Maybe I can get like a used one or something off eBay, but that'll be the game plan. But that's going to be it for me. I guess stay tuned for episode 3, and we'll see what happens. Now, regardless if that seals or not, I'm still going to try to replace the manifold gasket, the exhaust gasket, because that pop 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 sound drives me absolutely nuts. So, and I've got some furnace cement, heavy duty. I might just try that, so I don't have to pull the valve cover and all of that shit off, and pull the header gasket, the header off of the cylinder head, or off the block, to get behind it to replace it. I may just go cheapy and do what I've been doing, except use the heavy duty furnace cement on it. But anyway, I got to get in. We got a big storm rolling in. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.